Hi everybody, welcome to All Games New and Old. I'm David Rodriguez, and today we're going to be reviewing Merchants of Infinity. So depending on when you're watching this, this is either coming to Kickstarter or is on Kickstarter right now, or was on Kickstarter before, I suppose. So this game was designed by Andrew Prowse and was published by Rogue Artist Creations. So this game takes place in outer space on a space station. So in order to talk about this sci-fi game, we are going to go to our sci-fi expert who's clone number... Actually, I'm not sure which number it is, so we'll figure that out.
Oh, hey. Yes, I'm clone 46. I don't really know what happened to the other 45 clones, but, you know, I'm sure it's cool. It's really exciting. I've never been on, like, a show before.
Oh yeah, cool. It's great to have you here. Did you have a chance to check out the game, and are you floating in space?
What? Oh no. I just like sitting by the window, that's all. That'd be weird, floating in space. I feel like I have memories of that I can't, like, fully access, so... I mean, whatever, but yeah, the game, it's pretty cool, but I'm kind of like living it now. Like we have the whole fractal mirror, I'm on a space station, like jumping between dimensions, and right now it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm pretty safe. I heard death is something I really got to look out for on my job.
Wow, that fractal mirror thing sounds kind of cool. So you're actually on a space station that does the same thing, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty neat. It's whoa, 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 oh, sorry. I think we just jumped through the fractal mirror again. Let's see it. Oh, that can't be good.
Ooh, that seems bad. Well, let's go to our gameplay overview.
All right, well, I hope he's all right. Well, rather than worry about him, let's talk about the gameplay.
So when you start off the game, it actually starts with kind of a little mini card game called Cogs. And the idea thematically is that you guys are in a bar and you're playing this card game called Cogs. And what it ends up doing is determining the play turn order for that round. So you start off with 5 cards, and you will select however many cards you want to play for that round. Down in front of you, face down, and you'll put them down. If you're playing 2 or 3 cards, or 4, all 5, you'll put them down kind of in order so that you flip them. You'll be flipping them over one at a time. And so everybody will flip over their first card. There's some cards that are like have a kind of immediate reaction. So if they have that, then you'll resolve that. Then you'll flip the next card and you'll keep going through until everybody has flipped over all their cards. Like I said, there's some cards that will have a reaction, like multiplying cards, zeroing out cards, taking away a card. I think there's a couple others. But for the most part, the cogs are worth points, and they're worth between 0 and 4 points. And whoever has the highest score will be the first player for that round, and you go in order from there. So the second highest score, second player, and so on. If there's a tie, they recommend going in reverse order from the previous round. So whoever went last will go first and kind of go from there.
So one of the first things that you'll need to consider is every round there is a fractal mirror deck, and you're going to flip one card over, put it up at the top of the board, and it's going to tell you sort of the rule for the current round. And that's because the station you're in is basically going to different dimensions. So some dimensions, they don't have gems. We went to one where there were no clothes, which is kind of interesting. So that's going to make it hard to get certain resources, or it may have other effects on the game as well. Okay, so for there you go into the main part of the round where you're going to be placing your meeples out. Depending on how many players you have, you're going to have between 4 and 6 meeples to put out. So in the middle of the board is a section where you have 10 resources in a circle. They're all different things, but unlike most other games, when you collect resources, you know, where usually you'll get a bunch of tokens or whatnot, which would be frankly a nightmare with 10 resources. Oh my god. Instead, when you put a meeple in one of those spots, you have one of that resource, and you're only going to have it through the end of the round, because at the end of the round, you're going to take all your meeples back. So you just have 1 per meeple you have on any individual space. You could put up to 2 meeples, or rather anyone playing could put a total of 2 meeples on any one space, and after that it's filled up. But you're going to need those resources for some of the other things that you're going to be doing. So for instance, you could go to the Vortex Bar, which could hold any number of people because everyone's welcome at the Vortex Bar. And there you're going to pick up quests. And those are just going to be a card telling you that you need to have a certain number of certain resources at the end of the round. It's usually just 1, but there are some that'll have 2 resources as well. Another spot you can go to is the spaceport, where you can get ship orders. And those kind of similarly will have a number of resources that you have to get, and will be worth more points depending on how many resources that you need. You can also go to the auction space. That one's kind of different because some of these contracts you need 3 of a certain resource, or maybe you need just 2, but someone else's meeple's already there. This gives you a possibility to get more resources. So she'll talk more about it, but anyone who's there at the end of the round can participate in the auction to get beyond what those little spaces on the resource thing will give you. There's a spot called the School of Thought that has an extra meeple on there, a clear one. And so when you go there, you can take that clear meeple and you can use that after everyone has taken their turns. And you get to keep that one until a future round when someone else puts their meeple there, and then they get to keep it. So no one can take it away from you the same round you get it, but after that, it could possibly be taken away. There are station spaces kind of up at the top of the board, and those will have a lot of different kinds of effects. Some will give you bonuses during scoring. One will give you 4 more cogs cards because those will run out. You don't draw them back up at the end of the round. So if you want to have a better chance of getting to go first, or at least early in a future turn, you sometimes need those. One will just straight up give you 7 platinum right away. And there's all kinds of other little things that they'll let you do. Across the board from that are the Nova spaces, and these are all optional to use. And the reason why is because those make the game mean. Like, those are ones you go and you can take money directly from someone, or maybe you will demand a cut of whatever they get. So it adds a little bit of nastiness to the game that you can either play with or not. It's really up to you. But that's basically what you're going to do during the main part of the round. Those are, I mean, without going into a list of exactly what every space does, which would be probably tedious for me to just blurt out to you, that's what you're going to be doing during most of your turn.
So once everybody has placed all of their meeples, you start to go into the scoring round. And it's going to start with that auction space. If there's only one person there, it's really easy. They just can pay 1 platinum, and then they get 1 resource of their choosing. If there's multiple players there, then it becomes a little bit of a bidding war, and whoever wins the bid gets that 1 resource. But it's only 1 resource, so you still have to be a little cautious about, what resource you want to get and where you're placing your meeples during the rest of the round, even if you're planning on utilizing the auction house. After that, you will score any quests, and the quests are kind of unique because you just have to have collected that resource during that round. It doesn't use up that resource though. So you basically just have to show that you have those, and then you collect those points. The ship orders, however, will use up those resources. So kind of a good way of keeping track of that is when you're turning in the ship orders, is removing your meeples off the board as you use up those resources so that you can keep track of what's left afterwards. While you're doing both of those, there may be some of the station spaces that you use that will multiply some of the scores there. So you want to keep those in mind if you claimed any of the station spaces. The last thing to do, if there's any meeple left, is you can either collect the market value of that resource, or you can do a STEM lab. And it's basically their way of combining resources to get you a better score. And so if you have 2 resources that are kind of lower cost resources in the market value, you can put them in the middle and you'll roll a dice and you'll multiply however many meeples you put in the middle by that dice. So if you had 2 meeples in there that were both like 1 or 2 market value, put them in the middle, roll a dice, you got 6, now your score is 12 instead. And then you'll add up your whole score for between the quests, space orders, and market STEM labs, and then you will collect that many platinum for that round, and then you start a new round.
Yep, and then at the end of the game, it all kind of wraps up by seeing who has the most platinum. So really simple scoring practice. You just kind of count what you have. I will touch on a little bit. If you play 2-player, there is a kind of a dummy player, but it's a really simple one to use. It's not like some games where it's like you feel like you're basically taking a whole other turn. All you're doing is you're rolling a 10-sided die, and then you're taking whatever color meeple you've chosen for the dummy player and putting it on the corresponding resource. So it's basically just going to be something that takes up spots on that board, so that way it's not super easy to get all the resources and still makes it a challenge for 2 players. And, while sometimes dummy players can be sort of a pain or kind of, I don't know, can take you out of the game a little bit, I really didn't feel like this one did at all.
Yeah,
so.
the hardest part with that one is just remembering that you have to roll
Yeah.
for that dummy
Yeah,
player.
there's a couple times like, wait a minute, why does the dummy player have more meeples than we do? Uh-oh, that's not good. But that's, that might just be us. Who knows?
So for the artwork in this game, I think it's fantastic, and I really hope that they keep all the artwork and don't change any of that. Something to kind of keep in mind when we're reviewing some of these Kickstarter games is that stuff can change between what we have and what comes out. So, but I really do hope that they keep all the artwork. I think the artwork's really fantastic, and it's very like steampunk and sci-fi with a little bit of humor mixed in. So.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is definitely an art style that I really love. It's really eye-catching, really exciting, I would say. Characters all look super cool, and it does have its funny stuff, like some of the quest and order cards have cat people wearing tuxedos, and there's like a lizard man barista, and there is a like gorilla
scholar, I think.
Yeah, I kept thinking he was like a mafia guy because he's in like a pinstripe suit, but I think you're right that he is probably a scholar. Whatever the heck he is, though, it's pretty fun. I really dig that kind of art, and it is just beautifully done as well. I mean, the board is really eye-catching. So, I mean, gosh, there's really not enough good things I can say about the art. I wish there was somehow more of it, but that's my only complaint. So, I mean, that's pretty fantastic. Okay, so bearing in mind that this is for an upcoming Kickstarter, and so anything could change between now and the time that the game finally ships, I do think the components on here are all really pretty good. Board seems really quite solid. The cards are sort of a little bit odd texture. I mean, they don't feel odd, but just like they don't tend to slide against each other very well, so they don't get like stuck like it's like you have to pry them apart.
Yeah,
but,
they have a little bit of like a texture to them, so
Yeah, but that could easily be something that's going to change by the time the game releases, or even if it didn't, I would probably just leave the cards, but it's not a huge issue either way. My favorite thing in this game, the star of it to me, are the big chunky plastic meeples. Something about them, I don't know how to explain it, it just feels so good. They're like the perfect weight for like the size they are, and like it wouldn't look as right to have like wooden meeples in this space game. Like I think the fact that they're the clear plastic really complements the game really well. So I really love that. I guess, if there's anything else I'd want to see in the final product is the little market dial. It'd be cool if it had one of those, like pegs you punch through it so it just spin in spot that way. But I mean, even if it's not, this is a minor quibble here, so wouldn't worry about it too much. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the components even now.
Yeah, I agree. I actually really like all the components that we got. The cards could be a little bit different finish, but I think even as they are, I think they'll be fine. Especially as you play the game more and more, I think they'll be easier to work with. So, and I love the meeples. I think it looks really stunning on the board. Even though they're chunky, they're a perfect size for the board because you can only put 2 meeples on those spaces. And because of the size of the meeples, you can really kind of only get 2 meeples on those spaces. So it's a good visual reminder of how many meeples can be on each space as well.
Definitely, yeah. I'm excited. They don't need to change much.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think the one slight ding on the meeples is that the bottoms could be a little bit flatter. Some of them had a hard time standing up.
Yeah, that is the thing, because I assume, I don't know if I'm using, I know this is the right terminology with miniatures, but because of like, there's like a mold line on the bottom from where they, made them, they're not like really truly perfectly flat on the bottom, so they can have a little bit of wobble, minor thing, but it's there.
Yeah.
Is what it is. None of them have trouble standing. It's not like they're falling over or anything, but yeah, that's about it.
I think they did a fantastic job of incorporating the theme into this game. From the very beginning, you have this card cog game going on that really, it's such a fun and, to me, unique way of determining player order. And I can see, a bunch of crew members just sitting in the bar and having fun before they go off and do all these different missions. And, I know that they kind of like were saying that the theme of the game was steampunk. And, for some of it, it's a lot more, it's definitely heavier on the sci-fi side than steampunk. But it kind of reminds me of a little bit of a mix, kind of like Firefly, where it's kind of a steampunk in space type of theme. So,
yeah, I could see that. I think it really made me think of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I'm one of those weirdos who that's not my favorite Star Trek, but I like how it works in this one. And you're not like, you're like the kind of shadier people in there, maybe a little bit. Not that you're doing bad stuff, but you're worrying about making money and taking on these missions and doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
It's Firefly.
It's fun. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I don't know why. I just keep thinking that because I think you're on a big space station. That's probably why. Deep Space Nine, boldly go nowhere.
The other part of the theme that I really like with this is actually the mirror dimension changes. It really, I think it adds a lot to the game. And something that I didn't think would add that much to the game, but I think it really does add a lot because, as you're going through the game, you're going to be collecting these quests and space orders, and, you might not be able to complete them because something that the fractal mirror changed. So, like, you might have a mission where you, like, all the quests and space orders that you have, you need a specific resource, but because of the fractal mirror, that resource isn't available for that round. So you have to hold on to all your cards until the next round.
Yeah, it really encouraged you to, like, not feel fully comfortable in anyone's strategy. Like, really have a backup plan, basically. Not that it's... I don't want to make it sound like it's so random, like it just blows apart your plans left and right. It's not like that, but you definitely want to have more than one kind of way to reach what you want to reach. I think that's a smarter thing to do. The nice thing, though, is, even if you realize when the new round comes and you've got all your cards needing something that you can't get, like, you can still get new cards that turn. So, I mean, I never feel like you're out of luck. I feel like I'm getting into gameplay with this, but, like, it really puts me in the shoes of this. I mean, you're not like a named character, but of this person running around and be like, oh, I can't get my thing. Like, oh, how am I going to make money now? I got to go do this. And, I like that. It really does feel like what they're trying to make it feel like. And, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy because without like tons and tons of narrative text, it just kind of creates it creates a bit of a narrative just through emergent gameplay. And I really dig that a lot.
And it's also nice because it's like, because the rounds are so quick, and it changes from round to round, because it changes every round, like, you don't feel stuck because it's like, okay, well, I can't do it this round, I'll do it next round. And, it might throw you off for just a quick second, but it's really easy to bounce back from whatever block that causes for that round.
Definitely. Okay, so for final thoughts, worth noting that this is for an upcoming Kickstarter game, and so we were provided this copy to review. We don't get to keep it, however. We are sending it on its way once we're done here. Also, when we are doing a review and we are giving our opinion on a game, we don't take any sort of money for that. So we don't have an incentive to inflate what we think about it or to knock it down or anything like that. It's exactly what we think. And, hopefully we can make it sound as good or as bad to you as we think it is. So, with that being said, there was one or two things when I was reading the rules to this that I was worried about. I read it and my first thought was like, uh-oh, maybe. And if you read the rules when this comes to Kickstarter, you might think the same thing. So the first one is that cogs game to start your player order. I was like, oh, I have to play this weird mini game just to like set the turn order. That seems like a pain in the butt. I don't think I'm gonna like that. I was really wrong. It's so fast. It's not any kind of burden to do it, and it really does help thematically. You really can see these merchants being like, okay, before our trading quest starts today, let's get a few games in over our. I guess it wouldn't be a Denver omelet, Andromeda omelet, whatever they eat. I don't know. And
A liquid breakfast. Well, they're in a bar.
Oh, you meant that kind of? I thought I was thinking like a pureed omelet. Ugh, you had a much better thought than I did. Anyway, it blends in really great, and the fact that on the board there's like a space that you'll need to go to get more cog cards if you want to, or if you're worried at all about the order of your turns, which you probably will be. I like that. It brings that little thing into account later on. That, I mean, you could ignore it, but may not be wise for you to do so. So it works really well. The other thing I was worried about is 10 resources. That sounds insane. And, again, I think if you had to have tokens for your resources, I think that would be bonkers.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a pain in the butt to track, and it'd probably make this game take forever, I'm guessing. But when it's just a matter of, like, you have your meeple there, and so you have that resource this round, it's super easy. It's really easy. And it makes it harder to guess what other people might need. Like you kind of view by what they're doing, but usually by then they've at least gotten one. So it's like, it's interesting. I don't know. It just creates a different feel than a lot of other games that have resources of any type, which I really like.
Well, the other thing that I like about that is that it's like, other than them maybe taking up a resource that you wanted to get, you don't have to worry about what resources they're collecting because it is only there for that round.
Yeah, exactly. So, the worries I had ended up not being a big deal. And then, just upon playing it, I was impressed and maybe even amazed at how quick the turns go and how quick the rounds go. It's I don't think this is a game that lends itself to a lot of analysis paralysis. I mean, you could spend time thinking about it, but really you're probably going for the resources and other things to help you get them. So I don't think anyone's going to be sitting there thinking for a half hour on every turn. So there's not a lot of downtime. Your turn to do something comes back around pretty quick, even in a 4-player game. And because the rounds go by quick as well. So if things aren't going very well this round, you have next round to change things around. Mm-hmm. It's pretty fantastic in that way. The game itself is not really long. It varies depending on the players, although they do kind of scale it. It feels faster than it even is, I think. It's a game that I have no problem playing back to back. It's not even games that I really like that are also worker placement games. I don't necessarily want to do back-to-back games of them, or at least not usually. I really like Viticulture. Am I going to play back-to-back Viticulture? Probably not very often. This one I would probably play back-to-back. I mean, it feels so good, so snappy, and you're constantly, you feel like you're getting rewarded for what you do because you're always getting something useful everywhere you go. And you're almost never completely shut out where you cannot do anything that's of any value to you. There's always something that you can accomplish to help you, at least in the next round. So that's a lot to say that basically I really, really like this game. It is an awesome, light worker placement game. I think this is an excellent entry-level worker placement game that still holds interest for people who have played a lot of these. I mean, we've played... from really fairly light ones like Lords of Waterdeep up to really complex ones like The Gallerist. We've played a good range. I think this is probably this might be the lightest one that we played. I'm not sure. It's at least in the running for that. But despite having played all those, I don't feel like this is so light that it's dumb. It is not that. Mm-hmm. It's just fun and it is exciting. And having piles and piles of platinum growing feels cool. Your scores are going to be, over 100. I think we're usually in the 140 to 190-ish range.
somewhere around there.
Yeah, thereabout. And it just feels neat to see your pile of platinum just growing and growing. I really like it. It feels cool. It feels like you're getting rich, which is, you're a merchant. You should feel like you're getting rich. That's the whole point. So, we don't give scores on the Kickstarter games because, again, anything could change. It doesn't really seem fair to do so. But I will say, I think really highly of this game. If you're seeing this a little before the Kickstarter comes out or during when the Kickstarter's out, or maybe in the future when it hopefully comes to retail and you're wondering if you should get it, I think you should get it. Look at this game for sure. If it sounds at all like it could be up your alley, really check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all.
So, again, it's a Kickstarter game. So, for me, when I'm looking at a Kickstarter game, when we're reviewing a Kickstarter game, I should say, I, instead of looking at an overall score, I look at whether I would back it or not. And this is a game that I would definitely back. I think out of all the Kickstarter games that we've played so far, this may actually be my favorite. It's a really nice, lightweight worker placement game, but it goes so fast, and it's a lot of fun, and it's not so brain burny that, when you're done, you don't want to play anymore, or you don't want to play any games or anything like that. Like, you can play it back to back and still have fun with it. And it's it's a fast game too. Like, their recommended times, I think for two players, it was like 30 to 60 minutes. It goes up to 5 players, and that was 60 to 90 minutes. And I think those time frames are pretty accurate. We've played it a few times. We played it as 2 players. We played it as 4 players. And I feel like that those time frames are accurate, especially once you know what you're doing. And it's not a hard game to learn. Like, you can do a demo round for people learning how to play it. And, after one round, you understand what you need to do. And so I think it's a lot of fun. And like I said, I would definitely back it on Kickstarter when it comes out.
So there you have it. Pretty good review for both of us. We both really like this game. I definitely want to back this when it shows up again. I don't know why I didn't back it the first time. I was wrong, people. I was just wrong. I'll make it right. I'll do it this time. It'll get backed. Don't worry. Anyway, I hope this video has been helpful to you. If it has, please hit like and subscribe and click the little bell icon so you can know about the next time we put out a video. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you all around the table again at All Games New and Old.
Bye.
Little bit. And now I'm going to be like, oh, that's right, we're real. Okay, and that did too. Rather than worry about that, let's go to our... Oh, God damn it. I'm already unhappy with this. Bid, however many... Okay, so our final thoughts. I need to say again that we are doing... This is a... Yep. Anyway, I hope this... Yeah. Otherwise, I'll see you around the... Oh, jeez. Why? We're back to this blooper? I thought I got past this.
You were doing so well.
Okay. Where was I going? End part. Yeah.
Yeah, back it.
What am I trying to say? Otherwise, I'll see you around the table again.
Yep.
That's what I was saying. God damn, I totally forgot what I even say. No wonder I had trouble saying it. Jesus, what's wrong with me? I think I'm not good in head right now today. All right.
Your grammar is great.
It's going awesome. Jesus. Wait, otherwise I'll see you around the table? Is that right? Otherwise I'll see you around the table. And All Games New and Old? Is that what I say? What do I say anymore? I literally don't remember how I had videos. I'm gonna watch a video. Not the whole video. Just the end of the video. I'd see how I end videos. I don't know how I end videos. What happened to me? Jesus, okay, hold on. I seriously don't remember what I say. Oh my god. I'm not okay. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit like and subscribe and click the little bell icon so you can know about the next time I put out a video. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you all around the table again at All Games New and Old. Bye. Okay, otherwise I look forward to... Wow, I really couldn't remember how to end this. I've only done it like 80 times. God. What's wrong with
Like, I know the general thing of what
Yeah,
to say, but I don't know.
it
the
became
exact
robotic,
words.
and like then it wasn't. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to me. All right. Jesus, that was the worst. Not only did I blooper it, I like lost it. I completely lost it. What the hell happened? Nothing was sounding right that I was doing in my head. This is terrible. Great. Our next year's blooper version is gonna start with a bang. I'll tell you that much. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you around the. I just almost blasted one out right now, too. That's just. I need like something to like make me not laugh. Otherwise, look for.
Do I need to say it?
Maybe you should. Do you want to say it this time?
I can say it this
I'm
time.
having problems. Anyway, we'll talk about the gameplay.
So-
Wait, stop. That sucked.
Okay.
Not your part, me. No! I can't do this. Stab me. Stab me so I don't laugh. I'll be too much pain. If I'm hemorrhaging, it's hard to think anything's funny. Until I'm really delirious, then everything's probably funny. I guess. All right. If you enjoyed that video, you might also like this one.
Or this one.
Either way, if you could click this button to subscribe so you can see more of our stuff when it comes out.
We'll see you around the table.
Bye.
Bye.